Welcome y'all to another episode on Calm Flow TV, where you learn about lifestyles. And yeah, man, today, babe, it's about family, bro. It's about family, and the most important thing to do in these times is to stay close to those who've always been there for you and who've always watched you grow and watched you, be who you are. And today, I say that to say I am here today with my lovely aunt, Mary Solis, and we're going to talk today about some yoga and the importance of just being able to be in tune with your own body and yourself. All right, y'all. So we're back, and like I was telling y'all, this is my aunt, Mary Solis, and she is a yoga instructor. And I'm not gonna lie, like during the quarantine time, she had sent like a link out, like, yo, come try yoga, and never did it before in my life. 25, and I've never even thought to do that, and I was like, yo, this is actually, it's very beneficial. And I just would like for you to just share and touch base on everything yoga is about and how it's beneficial to everyone that can, even try it,
Thank you so much, nephew. I'm really glad to be here with you and to be able to talk about what at this moment in time is very close to my heart, which is the practice of yoga.
Right.
This is really a great platform because my whole goal is to share yoga and to be able to make it accessible to people of color.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to be here and to have this discussion.
That's dope. And that leads us off to our first question. Would you consider yoga to be a form of meditation?
Absolutely. Yoga is a form of moving meditation. So
Moving meditation? I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Meditation, as you've attended a couple of my meditation classes, and it is the centering of thought, right? Focusing on the breath. And so yoga as a practice is also connecting to your breath.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely, it is meditation.
That's a question that, like, cause like I asked around about, like, for kids maybe 15 to like 30, and I'm like, yo, what do you guys think about yoga? All of them, the biggest question was like, yo, is it more meditation or is it more like stretching? And that's like, another question I asked, should you be focusing more on that stillness, finding your breaths, or focusing on like just trying to keep that mobility? Because that's something that I really got into it for, that mobility, just to stay flexible, limber. And then I was like, wow, that's a whole other aspect too.
Yeah, that's interesting because yoga has become a fitness trend. And so nothing wrong with that. That's fine, because once it becomes a trend, then more people have access to it, and more people are learning more about it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, when I first started practicing yoga, which we're going back 20 years.
OG.
Yeah.
OG in the game,
it was definitely, for me at that time, was more, I'd say, a fitness trend.
Right.
And so over the years, as I've continued my practice and I've continued to learn, and ultimately becoming an instructor, is where I learn more and more of where yoga came from and what exactly is yoga. So when you say that, many people, which is why sometimes many people don't try yoga, because they think it's just stretching, or they think it's a bunch of poses that they'll never be able to achieve. And
I feel like another thing about yoga is like it's also a confidence builder. Like if you're able to not just see, oh, these are just poses. Yeah, the poses, you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything comes in moderation, and if do things slightly, you'll get there. And that I apply that to anything in life, no matter what it is. you save $100 a month, eventually you'll have enough to, do what you trying to get done. And that also leads us into the next question. You believe that yoga is not only beneficial for the mind, but it also provides clarity for someone. Like, let's say this person, I have somebody that comes into the class, and they're like, hey, lately I've been thinking about my past relationships, and I don't know, it has been stuck in my head these past few days, and they can't work out, and like they try to work out, but it's tough. Would you recommend yoga to them? Would you come try it so that way they could just become one with themselves, and even just because like when I did yoga, that happened. Like I started to pay attention. Like, oh wow, I wasn't paying attention to that within myself.
I believe yes, absolutely, because yoga centers you, and you shouldn't expect that to happen in just one practice, which is why it's called a practice.
Right.
And so with each practice, there's always room for growth. And so the wonderful thing is that what you do on the mat, you can take it off the mat. Use it as a form of a lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's when you really get into the practice. If it's just for you, just a fitness trend, something for stretching, then absolutely, then that's fine. But when you really consider what the practice is for, and that is centering and being present, then yes, absolutely, you can find clarity, focus.
All right, so that's something I will be sure to tell people, like, yo, listen, you can do yoga, but it's something that you gotta really, be consistent with if you want to reap the benefits. And it's funny because that sounds very redundant, but whatever. You know how people are. Now this question, I got this question from a couple of my lady friends, and where does yoga help for women? Does it help with menstrual cycle? Does it help with those type of things that you ladies deal with?
Mm-hmm. There are certain poses that could help you with. I'm not gonna say directly for cramps or anything like that we deal with, but it does help you. Certain poses that you can do, but you'd have to really begin to practice, I say, to find what works for you. Right. Yeah. So there are certain poses also that's true. You should limit if you're on your cycle. Right. So
that's true. So it goes back to what she's saying now. This is not only is yoga. It doesn't matter if it's yoga, if it's whatever it is you do. If you really want to see any type of change or difference, you gotta stay consistent with it. So there's times where you wake up, you don't feel like doing yoga. Continue to try. Continue to just allow yourself to break past that discomfort, because there's something for you on the other side, And I know you have your own brand and business that you want to share with us, so
yes,
talk to us.
Yeah, currently I am giving yoga classes on Zoom. I also do meditation classes as well. So during this time, during the pandemic, I was fortunate enough to have the time, to do my work as a yoga teacher, and eventually I moved into doing some meditation work as well. So you can always find me on social media, and, or if you want to do classes and things like that.
What is your name on IG? Mm-hmm. You are on IG, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm Yogini Mary Solis. So Mary _ Solis. You can find me on Instagram. Right. And Mary Solis Health and Wellness on Facebook.
How often do you run the classes?
Every week. I have classes every week.
So listen, you heard that, y'all? Every week.
Yeah, so you just have to. I have a link that's available on my Instagram profile, and will lead you to.
Also, in this video, I'm gonna leave the link at the bottom. So if you guys do want to just inquire, you want to reach out to my lovely aunt, you definitely can. I'm saying, and yoga is definitely something you should consider, especially moving forward in this. Like, you see it, they trying their hardest to make sure you can't be happy at all. So these are some of the things you can do to access that within.
And if I might add, sometimes people feel a little intimidated by yoga, especially because on social media you'll see yogis doing all these headstands and wheel, and that all comes with time if that is in your practice. And so you shouldn't feel intimidated by seeing those things. So if you'd like to try it, then definitely always start with a beginner level class. Right. You won't be doing headstands in the beginning.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's one thing that, like, when I first started with it, I was intimidated by that, because I'm like, yo, I don't even want to do that.
Right.
But because I was open to trying new things at this point in life, I'm trying practicing handstands now. Like, that's crazy, and that started with me coming to yoga. You know, like, that's crazy. I only did this maybe 4 months, and I've been able to do that. Now I'm over here in the crib practicing handstands. That's crazy, but
that's wonderful. Yeah.
That goes to the progression.
Yeah, exactly. There's always growth, and if that's something you don't want to go to, like a headstand, that's something that you can't even think possible, then that's fine too. There are so many poses in yoga that you'll love, so not to feel intimidated by that.
I got 2 more questions for you.
Yes.
First question: Was it hard learning how to learn these poses and these practicing that breath? How long did it take for you to really feel like, all right, I'm improving. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the growth, because like I just said, I was just talking about I'm starting to see it myself. When you see it for yourself, what did it do for you?
Yeah, I'd say it took a span. I'm not gonna give an exact time though, because I really at the moment I can't really think of when that moment came that I realized, okay. But even till this day, I'm still growing. I'm still trying poses that I still haven't mastered, and I don't know that I ever will. Right. But that doesn't mean that I stop, trying. I'll try. There's certain headstand. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I still try. But as far as the breath, the breath that has become like second nature. Just like we breathe, we're not thinking about breathing like, I have to breathe now. I have to breathe. No, it's just innate. It's just what happens. And so, you connect it to the poses. You connect it to presence. Right. And so I think it's the time depends on each individual.
Got you. Got you. All right. And my final question for today is, all right, so would you consider, what would you rather someone do? Well, because I work out and then I'll go do yoga, or should I do yoga or go work out? So would you prefer someone to go do some yoga first, get that clarity, and then work out, or work out and then come on down?
Ideally, yoga should be a separate practice. Ideally, yoga should be practiced in the morning on an empty stomach.
All right.
So, but of course, everyone has their schedule. They have, times when they're available, right. And so you should just focus on that practice. And I mean, it really is up to the individual, but in my opinion, focus on the yoga class
that morning.
And yoga can be, there's all types of yoga forms of yoga that you take, right. Power yoga, and so you can find strength training in yoga. Yeah, there's even classes where you incorporate weights. So
that sounds interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But guys, just wanted to show you guys and share just a little bit of the benefits and some of the things that yoga can provide you. On top of that, keep coming to Conflow TV, because it's about lifestyle. And I want to say thank you so much for sharing that information with us today. You guys are definitely going to be seeing this young lady a lot more often. And
thank you for the young lady.
Silly.
I really thank you for having me. Like I said, I really want the message to get out there that yoga is available to everyone.
All right. It is, y'all. Stay tuned for another episode. You have been blessed with information. Now, peace, y'all.